Hi everybody, it's me, your girl, Abby. Nice to meet you. If this is your first time, if it's not, welcome back. I promise this is the last video. I mean, I figured out a nice little contraption here, but this is the last video that's gonna have bad lighting and bad camera angles because I bought a tripod as well as a little tiny baby ring light. Paid too much for it because they're, well, I don't know. Future Abby, please insert how much you bought for it down here off of Amazon, but I'm pretty sure Elf sells one that you can hook onto your phone that is like $10, so whatever. So let's go with a little bit of background about me first. If you've never seen any of my videos, I struggle with anxiety, and I have pretty much my whole life, and I will link my first anxiety attack somewhere on the screen if I can figure out how to do that, or it's definitely going to be linked in this description below. I think that's my very first video that is public on the channel. It's just like, about like my anxiety attack. I am going to college to be a psychologist. That's the goal as of now, but goals change. Life happens. But I'm studying psychology, so at least like this much. And this is closing up on my sophomore year in college. Whatever. Next week is my finals week, and I've been feeling really high stress lately. And I just wanted to... I literally just stopped speaking there for a second. That was strange, huh? I just wanted to share like some ways that I help myself through finals week, because finals week I feel like isn't just like, oh, like another exam is coming up, like this is the deadline, you know what I mean? So yeah, first of all, for me, something I like to do more to prepare for finals week is like in the beginning of school, I always like try and do my best on the first exams or whatever, because so far typically most of my professors either don't have a final or they drop one of the exam grades in the class. So I know like the first test is normally the easiest test. Like I said, I like to always prepare in the beginning of the semester for my end of semester, like super ready to give up, super ready to go home, super ready to not think about school for 3 months, and then cry when I have to. It's usually very advantageous of me, and it normally really behooves me to really study hard for the first exam in all my classes and really like do my best on the first exam. But fast forward towards finals week, for me, something that helps me is scheduling things down. So definitely writing down like, oh, this is when I have to do this, like schedule. Like as soon as your final schedule comes out, or as soon as you know your finals, definitely write those down so like as the weeks go by, you're like, oh yeah, it's a coming, and you can start to study a little bit if that's your groove, or just like recognize and start to prepare. It's important to allocate the week before finals week if that's all you think you need, or like finals week to just finals, which can seem very overwhelming, because that's how I feel right now. I feel very surprise. I feel very overwhelmed. That should be on my tombstone. I feel very overwhelmed was her last words, probably. Let's be honest. So anyway, just recognizing like when your finals are and planning sort of around that. And for my friends who aren't planners, I would say like then really work on your dedication to school towards finals week, and don't really, you just have to be a little bit more strong-willed when saying like, no, like I can't go out and do this, or no, I shouldn't watch this next season, no, I shouldn't continue watching Jeffree Star, no, Abigail, stop, tea spilled, it's okay, the videos will be there after you finish. That was a little projection there, sorry.
But yeah, so I would say minimizing distractions during this week or the week prior. For this week, I'm
lucky enough that I don't necessarily, like I need to be working during college, but I'm taking like my finals week off and a little bit the week after that, and like that's not, like I'm not gonna become homeless from it because my parents love me and let me live in their house and eat their food and don't expect like rent and stuff because they're really good parents. So I have that opportunity to step back from even like work as a distraction and just really take this time to be focusing on what is important. And not that school isn't always important, but sometimes, you know, having all of these exams or projects due at the same time, it's hard to allocate like time day to day, if that makes sense, which is something also that I think planning helps with. But again, if you're not very good at planning, you know, maybe just like work 15 minutes or 20 minutes on a project or studying, or 30 every single day until you're done, which is kind of planning, but not really. So another tip I have for surviving finals is to breathe, because I feel you. For me, sometimes it's definitely hard to actually start work that I need to get done. I have a paper that is due next Thursday, and it's really daunting to me, and I'm like scared of it. If you could relate, smash the like, because I know, like, even as I say it out loud, I'm like, Abby, that sounds so weird, you know, but like it's not weird because it's how I feel and all feelings are valid. But I would just say that, like, yeah, you know, something might seem really big, something might seem really daunting, but taking it step by step, like I've been saying, and taking time to just breathe is definitely good. Like, at least personally for me, I can't spend a whole day in the library studying. I can't even spend like an hour sitting down and like studying, or an hour sitting down and writing. That's why I'm definitely not one of those people that's like,
I just have to wait until the night before it's due, and then I can crank out these 50,000 pages, and they're gonna be perfect.
Like that's not me at all by any means, because I'll be there for like 3 seconds and I'm like, oh my god, this is due in like 2 hours, like I can't do it. But that apparently works for some people, but it don't work for me. So besides the planning out, taking some deep breaths, if you're feeling like your final like is cumulative and there's a whole bunch of stuff you have to study, or you're working on a big paper or a big project, what I found helpful is really like rewarding yourself for doing things and telling yourself, hey, right now, I just learned this in like my psych of learning class. We're talking about choice. You need to say to yourself, hey, right now I have the choice either to, gosh, watch so many Call Me Kevin videos, or I can work on my paper that's been giving me some stress and anxiety, and I can crank out maybe a page, page and a half, and then I can reward myself by, I don't know, just sitting down, filming a YouTube video that's kind of fun, kind of fresh, or watching all of those Call Me Kevin videos. You know, it's whatever. And then just say to yourself, okay, like I did that, now I have to take care of this little quiz assignment I gotta do. I'm gonna take care of that, and then once I've taken care of that, I'm gonna reward myself with a nice bubble bath, maybe throw on some records. I know I pointed to this, which is not a record player, but my record player is next to that. That, I don't even know what you would call it now that I think about it. Because my mom calls it a boombox, but I'm pretty sure it's not a boombox. CD player, question mark? I don't know. Anyway, the point is, you need to remember that you're human and you're not meant to do all of these things perfectly at once at the same time. And really just be kind to yourself during this time and, you know, do what works for you. This stuff is just what works for me. Like I said, maybe you're that person who can write really great pieces of work 24 hours before the paper's due. That's not me. Just always, you know, remember that you're still gonna be loved and accepted by the people that love and truly accept you, even if you fail every single class, which the probability of that happening is very small. So just remember not to put too much worth in your grades. So find out the things and the classes that you need to maybe work a little bit harder in, because not everyone is good at every single subject. And I know it seems like that at sometimes, but like, I promise you that's not true. For example, I'm really bad at history and also language. Let's use language because that actually affects me. I'm not taking any history classes anymore. But I am taking a language class. And I'm not very good at English, let alone learning a whole nother language. It's just, my brain, it doesn't come easy to my brain. So in that class, I have to work harder. I know I'm going to have to study more than I do in, for example, my psych of learning class, because that stuff comes easy to me, and that's just how my brain is, and that's just, you know, what's going to happen. So preparing for this, I know that I can
allocate more time
to studying Spanish and working on Spanish things than my psych of learning stuff, because that stuff is easy, and honestly I already have a pretty good grade in that class. So
By the way, I don't want this to look like I have my shiz together, because I don't. Do you see this? I don't have it together. But I'm doing my best, and that's all that matters, and that's all you can do.
So I hope this helped you, because it surely helped me. If you'd like to view my last video, which Lord knows what that was about, it's gonna be on the screen in a couple seconds. And so is the thing to subscribe if you'd like. Smash that like button.